Welcome back to VRoll. Today is Tuesday, where we look at our Trending Tuesday, all the different Pokemon products going up in price, trending upwards in price. Let's take a look at some sealed and maybe single cards. I don't even know if I found any this week. We definitely got some sealed product, and actually they all kind of, not all, but many of them have a similar trend where, yes, it's going up, but right at the end, it's kind of getting to stabilize a little bit, where that means things are cooling off a little. That's promising. That's good to see. We have XY Evolutions Booster Box. This one was sitting around like $700 pretty much the entire Sword and Shield era. And then it moved up a little bit in the Scarlet and Violet, just a touch. And now we have just taken off with the boom, just like everything else in the hobby, making us all believe that what we have is gold, but really it's cardboard. So don't get too excited, because these things will not live on forever. However, this is actually a little bit more realistic for what you should expect long term, when they stop printing, when things become scarce, when another boom takes over and people are going back and opening up even more of what is remaining product. There's so much out there. There's so much out there. But things get opened. And as time goes on, more of it gets opened. Less of it becomes available. Less is available for sale. Here for this booster box, it's tipped over $1,000 now. That took a little while to get there, to be honest. The fact that that didn't happen until 2025, that's a long time, because I think it came out in 2016. So we're 9 years in, and this tipped over $1,000. That doesn't mean every set's going to turn to $1,000 box after 9 years. Some are going to be even faster than that. Look at Evolving Skies, $14.50. Is that even the most accurate? Oh, geez, we're going to mess with this, where we got all the different languages and all sorts of stuff going on. I'm not going to filter through that. What we can say is the market's saying it's 1,356 and then some change. All right, and we actually had almost 1370, 1382. Okay, 1382 might have been the peak, and that was recent in February. It's come down a little bit, and now it's starting to grow back up a little bit here. So 1356 is a reasonable price point to expect on something like Evolving Skies. Give or take a few bucks. If you can exchange for trade, maybe you get a little better credit, things like that. Been seeing some reports of a lot of fakes happening, and that's another thing. As prices go up, as time goes on, you know, you get something that's a $700 box a year ago to almost double that at the, you know, 1356, 1400 would put us there at double. Well, yeah, look, in the past year, 95.72% increase. So almost 100% increase here. We're almost double what it was a year ago. People are going to make fake ones. They're going to be fraudulent. They're going to do everything they can, because if they can put together $100 worth of their resources to make a fake one to sell for a $1,300 box, and if it's a deal that's too good to be true, guess what? Guess what? It is too good to be true. Sword and Shield across the board, though, has been kind of in the same boat. Everything following that spike, the boom, the craziness of the Pokemon hobby, and then a little bit of a recovery, and now finding that growth again. We're at 1338 for the Chilling Reign booster box here. 1338. Paldea Evolved bringing us into the Scarlet and Violet era. It's just been kind of a steady growth, and then the boom explosion, and then our little spikes up and down. This set's not over. It's not guaranteed. We're not sure that this could be done being reprinted completely. In fact, there's no reason to believe that it is completely reprinted to the max and done to the point where they're going to cut it off. Typically, if the era is still going on, it's still available to find it, and they will have some small waves, some reprints happening. So let's see what the Pokemon hobby does. Let's see what the Pokemon company does throughout the remainder of 2025. But right now, the Paldea Evolved booster box is at $245. Jeez, these things are getting out of control. I'm looking for the new box to come out, where we get $100, $105, $110, you know, somewhere in there for the new box, well below MSRP. That was nice. It was nice to enjoy that for a little while after having come into the hobby in the Sword and Shield boom. And now there's a Scarlet and Violet boom. Whatever the next era is, will there be a boom with that? Is that just how it goes? It kind of levels out for a little bit, and then there's a new boom with every single era? Is that, for anybody who's been in longer than Sword and Shield, comment down below. Let me know. While you're there, give me ideas for giveaways. These are all too hot. I can't do that for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, but we're working our way there. Twilight Masquerade, Modern. This one kind of exploded on the scene really quickly and grew very quickly because of that Greninja EX. And it was kind of absurd at the time, because other boxes were still $100. I got Surging Sparks at $105 at a pre-release when I was watching this one sitting around at MSRP thinking that's a joke. And now, $222 for Twilight Masquerade. You're not going to find much better than that these days. Astral Radiance, going back to some Sword and Shield stuff. This is the trend I'm talking about. It followed Pokemon boom January through March. And then things started to settle down a little bit. End of March and into April, we've kind of evened out here. So something like Astral Radiance was just following the trend because it's another set, another option. And I think there's some cool cards in here, but it's definitely not one of the top tier Sword and Shield sets. So we're sitting at 266 right now for a booster box of Astral Radiance. Not horrible given the state of things. Take it back to something like Steam Siege, which was kind of the joke set. Nobody liked it. Nobody thought it was cool. And then in Sword and Shield, if you got a pack of this, it was kind of like, that's still throwaway. At this point in time, if you find a pack of Steam Siege, it's actually interesting. There's something kind of fun about being able to go back that far, even though it wasn't such a highly sought-after set. And now it's sitting around $500, but lowest listings are actually at $700. So you're not going to find it for $500 very easily, if you can at all. So take a look around. Even the sets that people claimed they never liked, they didn't want, things like Shrouded Fable, when it comes down to it, enough time goes by, and guess what? It will appreciate in value. Sealed is the way to go, and it's just been drilled into me as a collector now that I don't want to open anything, especially right now. You buy something, it's instantly inflated. If you got it for MSRP at all, it's instantly inflated way beyond that. The market's crazy. Even if we come down to MSRP, it still doesn't feel that valuable. The pack opening experience doesn't seem to be there for someone like me. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you're in a different state of your collection and you feel very differently, and that's great. I mean, I'm just not getting the same kind of joy. Putting my own spin on it with the I got it, you get it shorts, that's where I'm getting the joy, because the hunt is to see what I can get. If I can add something new, that's a lot of fun. The music's great. And then also, if I get something that I've already gotten in the past, I can give it away to one of you. And even if I don't, it's a motivation for me to still do some sort of giveaway on Fridays. So tune in for that and be a part of it. Comment along the way, because I pull comments pretty randomly in the system I've built for it. So make sure you get your chance to be a part of the channel, not just subscribing, but commenting on videos along the way for maybe a chance to win on Fridays. Celebrations UPC, looking at a couple UPCs here. 450, is that even accurate? I don't think that's really 450. 450, it looks like it. Not the highest. It's really come down just a tiny bit, but you look at this year trend, and it kind of came down to that 330 range. That would have been the time to pick it up in the past year. Then it shot up over 400, came back down. Another opportunity to pick up. It's so hard to watch. But if you really are after a certain product, you got to keep an eye on it, watch it diligently, and look for these trends. So that way, if it hits that 380, you might want to get it. But once it gets to that 387, okay, it might be time to pull the trigger before it takes off again. And here we are at 450 now. Okay, so you got to keep an eye on these things, watch them as they go. 151 UPC. I've never heard of any reprint happening on this one. I don't know if they're going to restock it. They were so available. I hope that's the case for the special collection for Prismatic Evolutions, special premium collection, whatever it is, because I want it to be at a point where that's so available we're picking them up at below MSRP or considerably inexpensive for what the product is, so everybody can get their fill. Everybody can get a chance and have it. We peaked out at 362. Now we're down to 340, 338, 339. Yeah, 340 on this one. I don't know if any listings are putting us that low. 348. Yep. Okay, so we got a couple right at that edge on this one, but you get the great promos, the Mew, the gold metal card, that's fine, and then the Mewtwo in there, those are good. The Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection, that Charizard with those 3 Charizard promos, excellent promos for sure. Hard to get those in anything near a 10 because the quality was just so poor on the margins there, on the edges, and then the chipping on the edges of them, really bad. But we're seeing this one at 365. It's not its height, but here's what I'm talking about. This boom took everything with it. Pokemon just exploded for all products. And now we've got this leveling off field. There's a little bit of safety here, but in the last year, we're over 100% on this thing. Blooming Waters, I thought this one was cooling off, and I come to look at it, and we got these spikes going up, and then up, and then up. It's climbing back up. We're at 136. Let's see, yeah, 136 for some recent sales on that one for the Blooming Waters collection on 151. And it's probably because we're getting to the end. I have seen other sealed product from 151 coming down quite a bit. So if you're looking for 151 packs, take a look. I think the poster collection is actually kind of not quite crashed, but it's really fallen down quite a lot. Stellar Crown booster box. Smaller set, not hard to complete, not big chase cards. But we only tipped over 200 not too long ago, and we've been sitting around this 200 mark for a couple weeks now, and it's only been out for a few months. So interesting how fast this has all gone up. Again, Pokemon boom. Just hold out, though. Hold out. There's always going to be new sets. There's always going to be new stuff. And there's going to be a time when we're looking at this going, I can't believe it was that crazy. Do you remember when you couldn't get anything for an MSRP because it'll cycle back. It'll come back around. Fusion Strike booster box. This one's at its all-time high, almost $500, $484. And I think the lowest listings were putting it closer to 500, but I'd have to dig a little deeper. It looks like Fusion Strike. Man, I still think that that big theft that happened really did affect the pull rates, even though Pokemon Company said it did not. I don't know. I think this one actually has a lot more rarity to it than it's even getting credit for, and that's why this one's climbing now, and I think it will do so in the future. Be a part of the channel. We are on the road to 6,000 subscribers. I am going to be getting ready to announce the 6,000 subscriber giveaway video, trying to get some good suggestions. I've had a lot of them, a lot of interesting ones, and I think I like where it's all headed. I want to get something cool to give away for the grand prize, and then maybe a couple ancillary prizes. So we'll have to see where that takes us, but for now, please consider liking the video today, commenting down below. It could help you, and subscribe to the channel. I do post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.